It would allow us to revive Minchev with less explosions. Too small? Well, the roof... Oh, jeez. Even yawning hurts. Well, the roof is like... Yeah. I think it's too steep, Alex. I think we should go 2 in, 2 in, 2 in. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, you are. Okay, you are. That top... You don't need the top part. The top part's fine. You get rid of that top piece and it'll look okay. Yeah, Shy, maybe. That looks good, Alex, yeah. Alright. Fellas, it's almost 4 o'clock, so... I'm going to take a break. Dudes. Time for space. F. Alright. Yeah, there's been a little bit, but yeah, alright. So, here we go. Alright. Fellas, I'm gonna take 5. I gotta put more Bengay on this. Get the Bengay! And I'll get us a thing to watch here and we'll jump into space news. Can we do Dream is Alive? I missed the last time you showed that one. Let me see. Let me see what I got queued up here. I got some good stuff. Give me 1 second. I'll see what we can find. Dude, I found a good channel, the U.S. National Archives channel. It's really good. Let me take a look at this one. Yeah, I got a good one here. All right. I'll be back in a second, dudes. Here we go. All right, taking a break, then space news.
You don't remember this miracle, but it happened to you. You were born into chaos. Those first days were a blur. But then, by the power of your mind, you resolved that chaos into a universe. A small universe at first, but a supreme act of learning. From then on, you became a learning machine, acquiring knowledge at a rate that you would never match again. I'm Jim Franciscus. No one of us has been untouched by our advances in space. And I don't mean only the spectaculars, impressive as they've been. Join me as we look into some of the space explorations that so excite us and have such promise for improving man's environment that we dare not ignore them. For it is in the quest for such knowledge that science is bringing us closer to an understanding of who and where we are. And like that baby in the crib, helps us resolve our world, our universe. We who make our way in more mundane pursuits enjoy the results, applaud the discoveries, and then take the benefits of science for granted. But seldom do we think about the discipline each scientist faces. What we believe to be true today will be adequate for most of us. Not, however, for the scientist. He is driven, quite simply, because he knows there is more to know. And this knowledge, when tested and proved, will, as it always has, be used to improve the quality of our lives. "400 years ago, the lords and ladies, their jesters, the knights, and the peasants believed the solar system looked like this. The Earth in the center, the sun out there, going around us." One of the men thinking about this was a Polish doctor, Nicholas Copernicus. He found an answer that his mind couldn't resist. The sun is really at the center. The Earth goes around the sun. But the establishment wasn't easily moved. It was easier for them to move Copernicus and his Earth with him. But then came Johann Kepler, a German. He believed Copernicus, but thought he'd satisfy the powers that be as long as the new universe moved in perfect circles. But then Kepler saw the truth. His mathematics insisted the circles needed stretching. The orbits were elliptical. From Italy came Galileo. Hitting upon Kepler's notes, he came up with a telescope. And he saw the stars, myriads where others before him had seen only thousands. And he saw that the planet Venus has phases, like the moon, which proved it must be orbiting the sun. And the moons of Jupiter? If a planet could have satellites, why not the sun? Finally, an Englishman, Isaac Newton, discovered why the Earth and the planets move about the sun. It is the gravitational pull of the sun which keeps them from flying off into space. Newton told them,
"The solar system is a great clockworks. If you understand the laws of nature, you can make or do most anything." Really?
the human race saw, became a great learning machine and made progress never before possible. Well, I'm not sure you can credit Newton for everything you've just seen. However, the practical results from what appear to be a purely scientific discovery are often unpredictable. A good example that looks contemporary despite its origin in the 1800s is Michael Faraday's statement defending his research before an English parliamentary group.
Gentlemen, I do not know what this electricity can be used for, but I predict that one day you will tax it.
Give a man knowledge, then step back and see what happens to him. It seems to free him. And that's what's put us in space today. Until recently, almost everything we knew about space was learned through this tiny window, the visible light window. All the rest of the secrets of the universe were hidden behind windows of invisible radiations, low-frequency radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, and others. Signals from the universe, energy that would unlock so many secrets, were blocked out by our own atmosphere. And a pretty good thing, too, since part of the radiation generated by this invisible energy is harmful to us. But as for seeing behind these windows, the Earth's atmosphere makes it impossible, even with the largest, most sensitive telescopes. There is one solution. Go higher and higher, taking our telescopes with us. Beyond the atmosphere to outer space. Out here, what was invisible down below is still invisible to our eyes. But here we can measure it. And by measuring the radiation, infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma ray, cosmic ray, we can tell the distance of the stars, the energy they are pumping into space, how the atmosphere of other planets is different from our own, the temperature of gases in interstellar space, the strength of magnetic fields, the speed of particles in galaxies. The measurements become numbers, and the numbers are rained down on Earth. And out of the numbers grow pictures. The Earth and its sister planets, the ultraviolet sun, the X-ray sun, radio sounds from space, and the word that there are more than 100 billion stars out there besides the sun. And with each spacecraft, each measurement, we are bringing the universe into sharper and sharper focus, resolving it, seeing it grow brighter and ever clearer in our minds. In a universe of billions of stars, there are billions of mysteries. What is the origin, age, and evolution of the universe, the destiny of the stars and galaxies? We have reached a unique moment in history where man has developed the tools to take scientific measurements that may unlock some of these mysteries. Our satellites will help us crack the secrets of our solar system, unlock the doors in the universe, and enable us to learn more about our own planet Earth. With this knowledge, we may be able to improve life and avoid disaster. Without this knowledge, we may be able to do neither. In the few years we have jumped into space, our image of the Earth's environment has utterly changed. We have found, for example, that instead of simply being surrounded by a magnetic field that faded out endlessly in space, we are actually encased in a vast space suit, the magnetosphere. And that this magnetosphere ends at about 40,000 miles. Ends because there's a great wind out there. A wind, mind you, where there is no air, no molecules that you feel pushing against your face when you stand in a breeze. This airless jet stream is the solar wind. And to stand in it unprotected would be like holding radioactive material in your bare hands. You saw our astronauts on the moon unfurl a window shade of metal foil, which they later brought home with them. Man was catching, literally, bits and pieces of the sun, fallout from the sun's nuclear hell. And that is what the solar wind is, fallout from the thermonuclear reaction in the sun. We wanted that sample because we live in a cavity in that wind, and we want to know how it is affecting us when there is a storm on the sun, changing our weather and blacking out our international radio communications completely. And we'll want to know what effect that solar wind has on life. How dependent are we on that magnetosphere? If another planet didn't have this protection, could it still have life as we know it? Or something else we cannot even imagine? There may be only one way to know. Go to the other planets. The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are relatively small, solid bodies like the Earth. Investigating them is our immediate goal. In 1973, the Earth, Venus, and Mercury will be lined up so that we can try a new way to go further in space. We'll launch our Mariner to Venus and then use the gravity of that planet like a roller coaster to give more speed and fling it into space toward Mercury. The first time we have ever been able to explore that planet. Venus is a paradox. It rotates the wrong way, for example, the opposite of all the other planets. Or perhaps we are all out of step, except for our lady in space, Venus. Why? Well, we really don't know, but if we find out, it may tell us more about how the solar system was put in motion than all the other planets moving counterclockwise. Venus is the brightest planet, but No one has ever seen it. We have seen the thick, reflecting clouds that hide it, but not the planet itself. These clouds heat the planet. Any water on the surface of Venus would immediately boil off into the heavy atmosphere, more like superheated steam than water. Why bother? To satisfy a scientist's curiosity? No. No, to know our own atmosphere better, we have to know all atmospheres. We have to ask, how did the Venus atmosphere get that way? Is it possible we are headed that way? Are we mass-producing enough pollution, enough smog, that might trigger the change, upset the balance, change the beneficial effects of our atmosphere? Only to mire ourselves in a malignant envelope that alters our climate drastically, that in the end might extinguish human life entirely. On the other hand, might it be possible for us to reverse conditions on Venus, perhaps with vegetation or chemicals, so that the oxygen locked in the carbon dioxide of the clouds is released, so that the planet cools, rain falls, and it becomes more like Earth? Is it possible that we might seed this bit of matter in space, so that some future generation from Earth can become pioneers in a distant new world? Why not? On Mercury, the nearest planet to the sun, there's probably no hope like that. If this planet ever had an atmosphere, it was blown into space long ago by the pressure of radiation from the sun. Here we may be seeing for the first time a completely desolate planet with no protection from the solar wind. Looking at Mercury, we can ask, is this the way the Earth would be without a magnetosphere or an atmosphere? Lashed by the full force of the solar wind without hope of life. And what about Mars? Well, this is the planet where we hope to find life, or which will help us understand the life process. In 1965, Mariner 4 got our first close-up photographs of Mars. 4 years later, Mariner 6 and 7 returned for a more detailed look. They sent back fascinating pictures of the rugged surface and the polar ice caps. When you watched this on TV, did you really feel that the spacecraft sending back the pictures was actually 60 million miles away? Can you imagine 60 million miles? The next step will be to orbit Mars. This unmanned flight is scheduled for March in 1971. Then we'll colonize it with machines. Our Mayflowers and our Pilgrim Fathers on Mars will be Viking, orbiters and landers. On the way down, the landers will measure the thin atmosphere. While overhead, the orbiters make related measurements. Then, for at least 90 days, our mechanical astronauts will take pictures, analyze the soil, sniff the strange air of Mars, feel for moisture. Thus, we will obtain information about Mars from the ground up to the limits of its atmosphere. Perhaps the greatest interest will be in the lander's search for signs of life. We're pretty certain now that there is no man-like life there, but we were not always men. We were once just cells. Before that, we were perhaps just molecules of protein. And we still want to know if there is that kind of life, or if sometime in the past, life did exist on Mars, and what could have happened to it. All of this will lead up to the ultimate exploration by man himself on Mars. The outer planets, on the other hand, are entirely different from the inner planets. On Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, there may be no place to land, stand, or walk. They're all several times the size of Earth, but they may not have a solid surface to land on. About the fifth one, Pluto, we don't know enough to call it either solid or gaseous. Our spacecraft will leave the Earth for Jupiter in 1972. It will be a 400 million mile journey, and it will take almost 2 years. Jupiter is the largest of all planets, 11 times the diameter of Earth and over 300 times as massive, but a quarter of the density. We will want to know what causes the color changes in the bands of clouds. What causes the mysterious red spot that drifts around the planet? And we'll want to know if before the Earth became what it is, it was perhaps first like this. A mass of gas and dust and vapor. A condensing part of a nebula, out of which the sun was also forming. The protoplanet, caught by the mother star's gravity, turning eternally in orbit, condensing into stone, into rock, destined to develop life, and then perhaps to become, in the end, like Mercury, an airless rock baking in the sun. To go to the planets beyond Jupiter will be a journey, an odyssey of years. To do so, our spacecraft will have to have an operating life far surpassing any we have planned before. Moreover, these planets are so far away, we shall have to take advantage of special conditions to reach them. In the period 1976 to 1980, they will be in an unusual alignment that will enable us to go to all of them. And this alignment won't happen again for over 179 years. The last time the planets approached anything like this grouping was when Thomas Jefferson was President of the United States. And you'll remember it was he who sent Lewis and Clark to explore the West to resolve the image of our country. On our first grand tour, we'll launch a spacecraft toward Jupiter. Then, using the roller coaster maneuver we tried out on the Venus-Mercury flight, we'll send the spacecraft to Saturn, use the roller coaster again, and the spacecraft will go on to find Pluto. It will be a 7-year voyage. In the second grand tour, the spacecraft will go to Jupiter as before. Then Uranus, on to Neptune, nearly 3 billion miles from Earth. After nearly 8 years, this spacecraft, which will be sending back its rain of data, will then escape the solar system and become the first object created by man to adventure into the galactic space of the Milky Way. A message to 100 billion stars that we are here, somewhere in the universe. How can we use the knowledge we will gain of the solar system for the betterment of our life on Earth? Our spacecraft are already being used to observe the Earth, to count the Earth's resources, provide better communications, better navigation, and to study the Earth's atmosphere. We live in this atmosphere. We breathe atmosphere. We see atmosphere. The sky is blue only because the atmosphere scatters the sun's light. It is here that the interaction between the sun and its solar wind and Earth, between oceans and land, between the Earth and its own atmosphere, is acted out. This is where the hurricanes, the typhoons, tornadoes, tidal waves move across the stage. It is in that thin layer that the very fabric of life is both nurtured and attacked by nature. Can we do something about weather? Has our study of other planetary atmospheres given us any clues to the weather here on Earth? We think so. And in the next few years, the world is going to see the largest, most widespread scientific experiments ever attempted. It will be known as the Global Atmospheric Research Program, GARP. This will be a cooperative effort of the scientific societies and academies of almost the entire world. Everything that we know, everything that we can learn, will eventually be drawn together to create a model, a mathematical description of the atmosphere. When this is done, and with continuing observations, we hope to have the ability to forecast the weather accurately up to 2 weeks in advance. Think of the vacations saved, the picnic sandwiches, the rain check you wished you never got, the hairdo that was so special and had to look just right. More important, perhaps, than all the things you've just seen, we may be able to tell food producers everywhere in the world how much moisture they can expect, when to plant, how big their harvest is going to be, and where to distribute the food, where it is apt to be most needed. Today, we look to spacecraft to help solve these problems. In ancient times, man looked to the stars, and isn't that how astronomy began in the first place? We live under the influence of a star, our sun. Yet for 2 centuries after the invention of the telescope, we almost ignored the sun. It was perhaps too close to be interesting. Today, our orbiting solar observatories are making up the lost time. Soon, we plan to put a telescope into orbit around the Earth with its instruments pointed at the sun, and an astronaut to adjust it, recover the photographs from time to time. We will call this the Apollo Telescope Mount. The sun, as we now appreciate, is a most unique laboratory. By measurements and logic, we are deducing its life history, and the life history of countless other stars. We believe that it was once a much larger, far cooler ball of glowing red gas. Cooler because the nuclear reactions that make stars hot were just beginning. Its own gravity pulled it inward, decreasing its size, increasing its heat, moving it into the main sequence of a star's life. It became the yellow-orange sun that rises in the morning over the life it has nurtured. As it grows older, it will probably grow hotter, larger again. Then, a great flash of light in the sky, a nova, it may collapse, and pass its old age as a cool white dwarf, its story all but ended, perhaps. But from what we learn on the sun, we can instruct our other satellites what to measure among the other stars. Our orbiting astronomical observatories turning their eyes to see what is invisible from Earth. Or our radio astronomy explorers, spinning out arms longer than the Empire State Building is tall, reaching out for radio waves that come from stars, the planets, the Earth itself. They will find mysteries, some that we shall solve, some that will lead to other mysteries. For example, the Crab Nebula. Until a century ago, astronomers with simple telescopes saw this as a blur, then resolved its image further with modern telescopes, and now see in greater detail by space observations. In its center is a small blue star, a faint hot star, one whose history we believe is all but ended. Yet, from that point of light comes energy at a rate 50,000 times greater than the sun's. It is a pulsar, and it pumps an unbelievable burst of energy into the heavens 30 times every second. What does it mean to us? Well, if we can measure it, describe it mathematically, understand its laws, then perhaps someday we might be able to duplicate this newly discovered energy source, as we did with the nuclear reaction astronomers found on the sun, and perhaps even tax it. Who will we meet as we travel in and out of the byways and boulevards of space billions and trillions of miles in length and breadth? Is there a chance that we will find planets where there are beings like us or unlike us, but perhaps alike in their deep curiosity about where they are, where they came from, and who shares the universe with them? Many of us think so, because even in our own galaxy, with its billions of stars, there should be millions of planets on which life could have evolved. For we are like the child in the crib, its eyes open, resolving its first mystery. Oh, there it is, the great adventure of the universe, which it took man more than 6,000 years simply to define. And at last we are ready to go there, ready for the next great leap in learning that the human race makes to meet the challenges of the moment.
Not a bad startup video right there. Cool. Huh? Pretty neat, right? Oh, dude, look at that old school NASA logo. Old school. Pre-meatball. It's not pre-meatball, but still. Good watch, good watch. Yep, yep. Neck feeling better? No. All right. So let's see what's going on for space news. Let's see. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. That tweet about that Saturn 1 stage getting wrecked got deleted. Did you watch the dock to the ISS? I watched it when I woke up, basically. I didn't watch it live. Guys, my neck has been killing me. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Why was it deleted? Let's see. So the Axiom 1 mission did make it up to the space station. They had a slight hold. They had a slight hold for docking, from what I understand. But here, check this out. You guys will appreciate this.
2 meters. We heard chop call. The crew hands off point.
1 meter.
No, I called the doctor. Can't
1 meter to go.
But also,
Dragon, SpaceX, on the big loop,
Soft
contact
capture.
and soft capture complete, attenuation in progress.
2 meters. We heard chop call. The crew hands off point.
1 meter.
so freaking cool, dude. Can you believe that? Okay. There you go. You got 2 dragons up at the ISS right now. Actually, you know what? I'm wondering here. Maybe somebody can help me. Which dragons are up there? So Dragon Endeavor, right? Dragon Endeavor should be up there. And what's Crew 3 up there on? Endurance. Now, my question is... Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Now the question is, has Endurance and Endeavor been up at the space station next to each other before? Just genuinely curious. So Endeavor would have flown DM2, in which case no, it wouldn't have had anything else up there. I'm wondering if these 2 dragons that are up there have been up there at the station before. Do you have a heating pad? I had one. I had the heating pad on my neck all night, dude. Has Endurance and Endeavor ever been up there at the same time? Or is this the first time those 2 capsules have been up there? I know Endeavor's been up there before, which is still bananas to me. That's still really freaking cool. Endeavor has been up there. Endeavor flew Crew 2. And Endurance flew Crew 3. Hang on. So yeah, those 2 capsules, not only is there 2 Dragon capsules, Crew Dragon capsules docked to the space station, but those 2 have been up there before. Isn't that, dude, how about that, huh? No, Endeavor came back down a few days before Endurance launched on Crew 3. Oh yeah, that's right. There was a delay, so 2 and 3 didn't overlap. That's right. They should have been up there. Damn. Nah, Jack, I'm all right. I'm just holding it in place. Like that. Yep. Yeah, just, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's a nice bump right there. That's great. Yeah, just swollen. That's good. Going full Batman neck. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? I just basically have to sit and T-pose to assert dominance. That hurts. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do that again. Yep, that hurt. Yep. Nope, not going to do that again. That really hurt. Okay. No T-pose. I will A-pose to assert dominance, okay? The A-pose is much better. T-posing is for people that don't know how to rig correctly. We'll A-pose. A-pose to assert dominance. How about the Y pose? No, I'm not putting my arms up. I found this, the checkerboard, nice. Or the Z pose, is that King Tut? Ow. Yep, nope. Raising arms up, that hurts. Yep. I've never tweaked my neck this bad, to be honest with you. It's pretty bad, but whatever. It's getting better. It's better than it was. Squall, what's that? Yep, we saw that yesterday. Good video. Okay. All right. Yeah, Stealthy Sumo, they probably got rid of it because we can't have people knowing we destroyed a 50-year-old test article. So there's this. Hope you get better soon. I'll be all right. The checkerboard has been repainted. That's cool. Neat. Yeah, see, Scott brings up a very good point. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay. Oh. Sorry, realtor. I hate texting on stream. I hate that I have to do that now, but I have to pay attention. Did you get it? No. Did you unironically mean to share that Elon tweet with us at 420? No. Alright, so let's see. There isn't much else. The Axiom 1 mission is going off without a hitch. Here, check this out. This is pretty cool. Look at that. That's pretty neat. That's a lot of people. Look, I'm there too. Not bad, huh?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Mile, what's going on? Was wondering why I saw a pre-roll ad, then I figured it out. Subscription time again. Oh, thanks, man. Theoretically, how many astronauts can the ISS house? 20? Yeah, I mean... I'm trying to think what's the most amount of people that's been up there. I think the most amount of people that's been up there is 11. I don't think it's gone over 11, unless someone wants to. Someone knows that better. The Axiom crew sleeps in Dragon. Crew 3 sleeps in the Destiny module, or not the Destiny module. It's more Node 2 than anything. The beds are like right this way. 13 or 14. Yeah, something like that. That would make sense. A shuttle crew and 2 Soyuz crews would be the highest it's been. So, yeah, it would have been 13 or 14, yeah. And if the shuttle was rotating someone off the station, that's what they used to do with the space shuttle. The space shuttle used to come up, right? And they would drop some astronauts off, and then they'd pick some astronauts up and go and fly back down. Who stayed on the ISS the longest, and how long? Mikhail Kononenko, Scott Kelly, and Mark Van de Heij are probably at the top of that list. So is Gennady Padelka, and there's one more. I forget, but about a year is the longest people have stayed up there. Mark Van de Heij set the record. He set the record the other day, Flykin, for the longest time up there. He's up there, what was it, Vulcan? 360 days, 355, 360, something like that. Chris Hadfield was only up there for a short stay, Flykin, believe it or not. Yeah, and by short stay, I mean 3 months. Didn't Matthias get his own place in the Columbus module recently? Probably, Jock. Yeah, they got to expand. But you guys got to understand, beds and everything on the ISS are modular. Everything in here is on racks, like server racks, that you can take apart. So the ISS modules kind of work like this. So you have the circle, all right? And then inside of the circle, there's the square, and that's the part that you see. But, so you have pieces like this, and right here, and here is where all like the auxiliary systems are, right? So like wiring, plumbing, HVAC, stuff like that, life support. And then these areas with the circles in them, right? This is tic-tac-toe. These areas with the circles in them, that's modular. You can swap those out. You could put a bed there, or you could swap it out. You could put a scientific rack there. You could swap it out and you could put a sink that, well, not a sink, but you get the idea. Or a laboratory experiment, or a robotic arm control station. It's all modular. The modules are made that way on purpose. And you can see that this is the interior volume, or, you know, if your module has docking ports, the docking ports will take the space of the modular area. These, well, not docking ports, these are common berthing mechanisms, CBMs for short. Longest single mission in orbit was on Mir by Valery Polyakov, yeah. Does every module have its own engines to dock together? No, Tom, no. The United States operational segment do not. They were put together by the robotic arms on the space shuttle. The Russian modules, Zarya and Zvezda, are the ones with the thrusters on them. That's the service module for the station. They designed it that way. What is the current limiting factor that keeps astronauts from staying up longer? Well, over time, Flykin, they have them stay for longer periods of time to simulate a mission going to another planet. You don't want to just leave somebody up there too long, because you're not... It's not that you're not going to know... it's not that you're not going to be able to document the changes. You're not going to know when those changes occurred to your body, because space does weird things to your body. That was Sergei Krikalev, W. The last Soviet citizen, yep. ISS is limited to 7 crew members for the long-term stays right now. Any more and you need to increase cadence of station resupply. I don't think that should be a problem in the future. It's a lot better than Vaultek's approach. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Audrey. Good reference. Man, what happened to Fallout, huh? Ow. What happened to Fallout? You lose bone mass up there, muscle atrophy, there's all kinds of stuff. Yep. Fallout 76 happened, it fell out, yeah, right? So let's see. So we got Tom Marshburn, station commander. That's Michael Lopez Alegria, right? Matthias Maurer, Rajachari, Caleb Barron, Oleg Artemiev. We got Eitan Stibbe, Larry Connor, Mark, I forget his last name. And then I forget the two other Russians' names that are up there. One of them is Denis Mativ. And then I forget the last dude's name. Korsakov? Could be Korsakov. Either way, there's a lot of people up there. That and I think there's 3 Chinese taikonauts up there as well. So we got 11 on the ISS, 3 on the Chinese station. So we got 14 people up there. That's pretty damn good. Let's keep that number high, shall we? Where's the floor? Don't worry about it. When more humans board the ISS, where does the otherwise unoccupied air go? Is there a system that vents air? Does it get compressed in some machine? There's pressure vessels, Senshai, yes. Spaceflight destroys it. Spaceflight makes the body kill red blood cells and it doesn't get better after landing. Oof. Oof. Well, just another thing to be documented and understood. I love the look of wonder from the second guy on the right. Firework, that's Michael Lopez Alegria. He holds the current U.S. record for most EVA hours. 67 EVA hours by that guy. He helped put together this damn station. True story. Something like that, Flankin, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was that crop of astronauts in the late 2000s when I was in high school. MLA, Tom Marshburn. Pretty much it from that list. Everybody else is new. Yeah, these two have been into space before. Oleg has been into space before. I'm not sure about Dennis and Sergey. I'm not sure about those guys. I think they're more or less new. This is Raj's first flight. This is Kayla's first flight. Eitan, Larry, and Mark. It's their first flight. Fifth launch to orbit, but he's still 2 launches away from matching the Earth orbital launch record. Who holds that? Jerry Ross. Jerry Ross and Franklin Chang Diaz. 7 times into space. That's a lot. I wonder if he helped install the old panels. I can get you that information. Here, let's take a look. Let's see. So, his first mission was 73 and 95. Man, he's been going into space for a long time. He flew on Columbia. That's cool. Vulcan, wasn't it? If you include LEM Ascent, wouldn't it be 8? 2 Gemini missions, 2 Apollo missions, 2 shuttle. Oh no, it's 7. You're right. Because he was supposed to do Hubble. John Young was supposed to command the Hubble mission, but he retired instead. Yeah. Yep. So let's see. SDS 92. Z1 truss segment. Oh, yeah. That's the Z1 on Unity right there. Yep. They put that's the SAS for the station. That's the gyroscope. The Z1 module right there. Cool. And then he flew on 113. Port side 1 truss segment. That's P1 truss. Who did he fly with? John Harrington, James Weatherby, Paul Lockhart. There you go. Did 3 spacewalks on that mission. There's the P1 truss segment. Yep. And then he did TMA 9 which was 2006. Yep. He flew on the Soyuz. Americans were flying on Soyuz before 2011. Just, I mean, if you didn't need any more proof. Yeah, see? Yeah. He flew with Anusha Ansari. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. And Mikhail Turin. Yep, Turin. Mm-hmm. Was filmed vertically, and unfortunately the GoPro has gone missing. Uh-oh. It's a good shot, though. Yeah. It's good that we're getting back to this stuff, guys. That makes me happy. Do we know the difference from 0G to micro G if we had a spinning station? Not sure. There's a Japanese mission control flight that operates it, but the international team works together on the U.S. side. Press site, huh, Vulcan? Noise. Yep, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a freight train derailing. Sí, la música. Sí, lo siento. Have I mentioned that I love my job? Are you guys making money off that yet, Vulcan? Have you turned profit? Just genuinely curious. You have sold a single print. Better than most. Better than most. Ah. I'm pretty sure my mom bought it. Hey, there's nothing wrong with when we first start streaming having your mom be your only viewer. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? To put it in my terms. That hurt again. Wow. Okay. Yep. Something like that, Flankin'. Yeah. A sale is a sale is a sale is a sale. Yep. The longest journey begins with a single step. Yep. Maybe you should go take a break, man. Screw in hours. I'm here until I can't be. True story, Hellfish, yeah. You mind if I drop the link to my website? I'm about to upload my AX1 video photos. By all means. I'll just wait until I can freaking get down there and join you, man. Get down there and join you. Gotta finish up the truck, amongst other things. Who knows? Maybe I'll make an appearance for Crew 4. I want to, dude. I want to get on the press site though. If I'm gonna do it, think I can get a press badge, Vulcan? Think it's doable? I've been trying. I'm trying to make contacts down there. See what we can do. Credence is already out for Crew 4. We probably get squeezed in. Yeah. Do you have plans for whenever Orbital Starship happens? I want to be there for that, Katra, yeah. Have you tried a cold pack or something cold to reduce swelling? Jaka, don't worry about my neck. I'll take care of it. Ask Twitch for a press badge. Yeah, if they were into it, sure. Oh no, a lot of my contacts at Twitch have left the company. A lot of the people that I know over there, they all moved on to other things, like TikTok and stuff. maybe I'll go. Not saying I'd move permanently over there, but maybe we could use that to our advantage. Think there's a market for what I do on TikTok? I don't know nothing about that website. TikTok press badge, dude. Maybe. Who knows? No. There's a market for anything there. Yeah. There's a lot. Big demographic, guys. Rocket review in 30 seconds or less. That's the thing, dude. Streaming is long form content. TikTok is not. I don't know how we could condense space news into 15 seconds, but you're incapable of spending anything. Yeah, when it's off the cuff and live, Hellfish. Yeah, like I said, long form content. But I mean, don't take this the wrong way. But you literally know nothing about this job. I'm very experienced in it. I can do long form content. I can do short form content. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, because when it's not live, I have time to boil it down and I can make the explanation shorter. I can do that. It's easy. It's not that hard. What's happening for mid-hours today? I don't know. Like, dude, I have a ton of experience with long-form content. I can format it for short term. That's not a big deal. We can mess with trains, I suppose. But yeah, let's see. There is Starship stuff. I mean, I think there's a Starship video. Let's go take a look. Okay. It would bring in a new wave of people interested in space. Bears, I think, yeah. I mean, might not be a bad idea. Are the Sox playing today? I don't know. They lost to the Yanks yesterday, but I think they're playing today. Hold on. They are playing the Yankees again, I'm pretty sure. Yep. They're up 2-0. 2-0 right now. There's already a space TikToks in the market. Play automation. I don't really feel like playing automation, dude. Play automation. The beta is bonkers, dude. The turbos. I guess start with YouTube Shorts and see if that works. Appeal to the no attention span generation. Yeah. They have flow charts now. Okay. Could you talk with Das and maybe be like a joint venture press pass with NSF at the Cape? I don't know, Bandit. Maybe. What kind of biological research is being done on the ISS? Do you have any resources? Yeah, Flykin, there's this website. This website might be useful. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. Actually being useful for a change. What do they do? What does... I don't know. Don't worry about it. Alright, let's go here. Let's see what we got. Oh, also, the SLS wet dress rehearsal is on the 11th. So that's happening at the beginning of next week. They're doing a modified... Actually, you know what? I'll talk about it after Starship. After we look through. Yeah, like, no, seriously, I don't... The truth is that I don't know all the biological experiments that they have going on up there. Literally, I'll default to NASA on that one. That's not really my area of expertise. I can tell you how the experiments got there.
Please halt all boomless activities at this time.
Oh, okay, Vulcan. Oh, those guys are painting the handrails. Those handrails are going to get blasted. Calling it now. So once again, you guys know Starship footage is coming from NASA spaceflight here. Make sure you go over there and follow them. Wow, the grass is really screwing with the encoder, huh? It was pushed. Yeah. Do rocket engines produce black soot? I mean, they got to be pretty clean, right? Depends on the propellant that you're using, City Robo. Shuttle engines produce water vapor because hydrogen and oxygen, when you combine them and combust them, chemical byproduct is H2O. Yeah, straight up. However, if you're using a Carolox engine that's using RP1 and liquid oxygen, they tend to run those engines at very fuel rich. In terms of ratio of oxidizer to fuel, they run them fuel rich to keep the engine cool. Because if you operated it stoic, the engine would melt. It's part of the reason why rocket engines being metal, like how the metal doesn't melt, for instance, it forms like, I mean, you can film cool it too, but they usually run fuel rich. So like Falcon 9, when it comes back, flies through its own plume when it does supersonic retropropulsion. And it gets very dirty. Yeah, a lot of carbon soot because you're, once again, fuel rich. So that one has a lot of emissions. That has a lot of soot coming out of it. To be fair, the shuttle engines also run fuel rich, to be fair, but pumping more hydrogen, I mean, you have H2O, right? If you're moving double the amount of hydrogen than you are oxygen, yeah, the exhaust is just water, believe it or not. It takes a second to condense back into a liquid, right? Because it's coming out as a hot gas, but yeah, that's what it does. But then there's other engines, like Raptors, for instance. Raptors are CH4, so that's methane and oxidizer, right? Liquid methane and liquid oxygen. They run fuel rich as well, and the Raptor engines will have a little bit of emissions, right? They'll have a little bit of soot, but most of it will get burned off. The reason why that's C, like with methane, so if you look at the chemical composition of methane, it's CH4. That C is there to stabilize the hydrogen, because hydrogen by itself is a pain in the butt. So it's kind of like this. The H's are kind of adhering to the C, if I'm remembering that right. I mean, not to get into chemistry. Chemistry really isn't my forte, but so the C is more likely to get burned off than with Carolox, which is HC, 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 HC in a long chain. And that long chain is called a hydrocarbon, right? It's just a long chain of carbon and hydrogen molecules. So with methane, you might get some emissions, but it's going to be mostly water. But the funny thing is that SpaceX also runs really fuel rich with Raptor because they film cool it. The combustion chamber, the throat, and the nozzle, it's triple film cooled on Raptor. That's, once again, to keep the temperatures down because Raptor operates at such a high, it operates at such a really high combustion chamber pressure. You have a higher combustion chamber pressure, you have a higher mass flow rate, which means your exit velocity is higher. If your exit velocity on a rocket engine is higher, it's more efficient. Yeah, the faster that gas moves away from the rocket engine, the higher specific impulse you have. And usually that means more thrust, usually. Mass flow rate is how much gas you move at the throat of a convergent divergent rocket nozzle for the nerds. How goes it? There's one heck of a dock this morning. It was nice, Shadow Man. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Fellas, sorry, I'm not like looking up at the camera too much because I can't. My neck's stiff as a freaking board right now. Yeah, they roll coal, Cantab, indeed. Also, that gantry crane right there, see? They put it over the can crusher. Interesting. What happened? I don't know. Tweaked my neck hard. Couldn't stream yesterday, dude. I couldn't do this yesterday. I had to go lie down, and I literally spent the rest of the day staring at the ceiling. It was not fun. I like that truck. GM guys. LMT 800. 3/4 ton dually. Single cab long bed. That's a Chevy I could get down on over there. See that one? See that truck? That's how you know I'm good enough to stream, when I notice the trucks. That's a Chevy I can get down on right there, man. You know that's Duramax all day, Spoon. Aging is cruel. Yeah, whatever. You know what this tells me more than anything? I gotta get back into shape. If I'm gonna pull a muscle sleeping, I need to start working out. No excuses. Yeah, Brian, that's what I did. I had a heating pad all last night. Don't worry, guys. I got the Bengay on it. It feels like someone's putting a candle to the back of my neck. I also like that 3/4 ton Ram that was back there. That's pretty neat. Wait a minute. What did I see? What did I see go by there? Is that an old S10? That's what it looked like. Alright, old S10, there we go. Workout streams when you know what, Wrecker? I should. I misspoke, it's a compressor map. Oh, neat. That's cool, man. Turn half of the garage into a mini gym? No, it's simple. We just bench press car parts. No, I need to do cardio and stuff, man. I gotta move. You gotta move more. Muscles locking up when you're sleeping? Yeah, that's from lack of movement. Oh, man. Stretching it. Woo! Stack tires on a bench press? Hell yeah! There's a methane downcomer. Yeah, they're calling it ship transfer tubes now. I like that. The new bulkhead looks real nice, man. $50 bits is one push-up? Oh no. Chat would just make me do 1,000 push-ups every stream. I don't think I can do that. Like physically, I don't think I can do that. Yeah, okay, and you'd be surprised how much that works. More crane parts coming in. I'll just do it on my own, guys. If I need your help, I'll tell you. What game is for mid-hours today? I'm not sure, Far Night. Yeah, TJ. I mean, don't lie. You would. Railroad starved to death? How's the neck doing? How's the hand? Still a bit stiff, mate. Those are some tracks. Yeah, it's not the biggest crane, but it's a big one. Yo, look at the trailer unload. Watch the trailer. Hold on, let me back it up a little bit. Watch the trailer decompress when they pull that track off. Yo, the thing was like, eh. Damn, dude. It's cool. Probably rose about a foot, right, Round? I mean, dude, look at this Kenworth, right? Look at the rear wheels. Look at how close those rear wheels are to the deck of the trailer. Should tell you how heavy that thing is. Are those Kevlar straps? Maybe. I mean, look at the back wheels. Those back wheels are riding low. The tongue weight has to be pretty ridiculous. Dude, look at the wheel. Yo. It's not supposed to ride that low. Well, it is. It is. Don't worry. But damn, man. Just pushed 27 tons of lumber to the depot. Nice. Nice. Oh. Watch the trailer go down when they put it on there. Ready? Oh, they cut it right when they did it. Did you see that trailer go down? Oh, they cut it. Oh, well, so much for that dome. Yeah, City, right? Nice Ferd. No, this is Texas roundabout. They are doing this in Florida, though. You should see the big mother that they're the big mother factory that they're building. They're building a factory down there that's as big as Blues. Oh yeah, they're gonna build starships there too. Yeah, and we saw from the Axiom footage yesterday that they've already started making a starship pad at 39A. What's wrong with your neck? I pulled a muscle and quite possibly pinched a nerve. Yeah, my neck's like physically swollen. Look, this is like the best angle that I can show you. Look, it goes up. See how it's concave right there? See that bump? My sternocleidomastoid mastoid is what it's called. That's right there. It's not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to bow out right there. Hot cold compress. It's all good, dudes. I was on a heating pad all night, dude. And then warmed it up in the shower, and then yeah. Now we got Bengay on it, so don't worry. Not methanol. Methanol is racing fuel. The menthol is keeping it nice and cool. I've read they had to stop expansion of Starbase because they failed to provide environmental papers to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineering. SpaceX let the permit expire, City Robo. That's what happened. Was that a tip? What was that? What's that about? Let me see. Oh, that clip didn't work, but I heard. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Put methanol on it. I mean, it'd smell good. Yeah, I mean, methanol on it. Yeah, that won't burn things at all. Yeah, it'll be great. Menthol, not methanol. It's very different. Looks like they're moving those chopsticks around. It'll smell great though, roundabout. It'll smell like maple syrup or something, right? Nope. I think that's ethanol, not methanol. Methanol will burn. Oh, they're moving the umbilical. umbilicals around. Interesting. It's like when people ask me, what was that third company that bid for a lunar lander? Dianetics? No, not Dianetics. Dynetics. Dynetics is something different. That's not, those aren't the same. Those are two different things, man. A Leidos company. Yeah, Dynetics, a Leidos company, obviously. Did you guys know that they're a Leidos company? Here, look. Did you guys know that? That's literally their logo. Dynetics, a Leidos company. That's what it's called. I think it might be a Leidos company. Yeah. Leidos is a huge defense contractor for what it's worth. Dynetics, a Leidos company. Come on down to Zelensky, the auto parts king. Wait a minute. The antagonist in Tommy Boy is named Zelensky. Now I was thinking, I'm like, I just said the jingle, I'm like, where have I heard that name before? Oh. Oops. Is Leidos a Dynetics company? I don't know, maybe. No relation. Yeah, Magellan, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I make javelins for the Ukrainian working man because that's what I am and that's who I care about. Wait, what? I don't think that's how that works. I'm kidding. This is a joke. I'm gonna stop the joke. Let's go back. Are they moving 20 around? What do I need to do to get into GTA racing? Just find somebody that has an open friends list, Alien, and then go from there. And get an invite, and then we'll just invite you to racing. It's that simple. Cordwood makes you the most money per car, Kentab. Bum 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 ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. Get the frick up. Bum 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 bum. Spam bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Throw your hands to the sky. Bum 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 bum. Yours is in the back, sipping Jack. Now what's up? Bum 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 bum. Starship, flap your wings. Yeah. Yeah, I said it. Flap your wings. I wonder where they're going with it. I think, actually, now that, if I'm remembering right, I mean, because this footage is from yesterday, I think they moved it over to Pad B. Man, that just looks really strange. Yeah, they did move it to Pad B. And Pad B, I forgot all about that guy. Beaks. Gotta find Beaks. I forgot all about him. Pad Bay. Caught me slipping. Nice Jeep. There's a historical marker over there, guys. I don't know if you knew that. No, roundabout, I don't think so. No, the historical marker's probably over there. Yeah, I know. Wolfie, right? Yeah. Alright. So, here. That was the Starship footage for the day. Not much going on right now, guys. We're in a little bit of a lull with Starship stuff. Because programmatic assessment and other things. It should be back up to a lot of launches, but probably by the summer, if I had to guess.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Why are those tanks painted black? That would heat up the contents, wouldn't it? It's something to do with environmental conformance. Weather. Yeah. I think a tall white tank confuses the birds. Or something like that, if I remember right. Besides, they're just water tanks, dude. Actually, I think some of them are water tanks. Some of them might be methane tanks, but I'm not sure. This might be a dumb question. What is that beat from? It's a song by a rapper called Pharaoh Monch. It's called "Get the Frick Up." Or no, it's called Simon Says. Here. So this song here. It's old school. This is old school hip hop here. It's called Simon Says. Get the frick up. It's a good song, dude. Here, we can play it for a second. That's hurting my neck a lot, but I'm not gonna not jam. All right, there we go. Get the frick up. I don't know, it just works cuz Godzilla music, but yeah. That's the original Godzilla theme, that's right. Yeah. Throw your hands to the sky. Bo, 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 bo. Cruises in the back, sick of Jack now. What's up? I still think you should be part of the KSP2 team as an advisor, for example. They should realize. Yeah, maybe. That would be cool. Alright, so... Alright, here. So, SLS news. An Artemis 1 moon mission update from NASA. NASA Kennedy will conduct a modified wet dress rehearsal in preparation for launch with tanking operations net April 14th. SLS and Orion will return to the... SLS and Orion will then return to the VAB. Okay, let's see what we got. NASA is planning to proceed with a modified wet dress rehearsal, primarily focused on tanking the core stage and minimal propellant operations on the ICPS, with ground systems at Kennedy. Due to the changes in the loading procedures required for the modified test, wet dress rehearsal testing is slated to resume with call to stations on Tuesday, April 12th, and tanking on Thursday, April 14th. Wet dress rehearsal is an opportunity to refine the countdown procedures and validate critical models and software interfaces. The modified test will enable engineers to achieve this. The modified test will enable engineers to achieve this the test objectives critical to launch success. Engineers have identified a helium check valve that is not functioning as expected, requiring these changes to ensure safety of the flight hardware. Helium is used for several different operations, including purging the engine or clearing the lines. Yep. Prior to loading propellants during tanking, as well as draining propellant, a check valve is a type of valve that allows liquid or gas to flow in a particular direction and prevents backflow. Helium check valve is about 3 inches long and prevents the helium from flowing back out of the rocket. Following the modified test, SLS and Orion will return to the VAB, where engineers will evaluate the valve and replace if needed. Teams are confident in the ability to replace the valve once back at the VAB. NASA will host a teleconference to discuss details on Monday, April 11th. Figures. And then check back with this blog for an update on the countdown timeline prior to the modified wet dress rehearsal for testing for the Artemis 1 mission. NASA's streaming live video from the rocket on the Kennedy Newsroom YouTube channel. I'm not sure, Kintab. I've always re-railed them like right away. I don't think they despawn. I think they just stay there. Ooh, give myself a neck massage here. You know, like when you get a back massage and it hurts, right? And it hurts, but it's like the good kind of hurt. That's that. Okay, all right, we're good. Ow. Anyway, so it looks like they're not going to tank the ICPS. We've done that Far Night. Yeah. They're not going to tank SLS's upper stage, huh? Okay. They're probably most likely doing this because the ICPS fueling procedure is very well known. The wet dress rehearsal is really about the core stage. I'm not sure how... I mean, I don't know. I guess they would ideally want to tank the whole vehicle, but yeah, like I said, it's really more about the core stage. But if the ICPS fueling is well understood, because it's a Delta IV derived stage, so there's probably a lot of good engineering and data behind tanking operations. NASA clearly didn't see that check valve as something that stands in the way from screwing with the wet dress rehearsal too much, so that's good. It's a new umbilical, though. Hoy there. Hey, FK. I mean, Phil, I'm not going to lie to you. That's kind of... That's kind of right? But it seems like they don't have the access to be able to replace that valve right now. And if they want to stay on any particular timeline, like, you got to think about it from NASA's point of view. There's no way to service that valve. There's no service gantries out at the pad right now. I mean... Yeah, so the only way you're going to get at that valve physically to check on its condition, to make sure the check valve is checked, is by going and climbing around inside of the stage. Or, well, the ICPS umbilical. So it could be the ICPS-U. So it's the umbilical. So it's the umbilical and the umbilical carrier. So there's no way to get at that thing without it being inside of the VAB. So it's easily fixable, FK. I'm not too worried about it. If NASA is confident enough to go forward with the test, because you know they talked about this. You know that NASA would have been like, it's not working, NASA, screw it. No, they probably really had a conversation sitting down and discussed, how important it was to tank the core stage, and the ICPS, for the wet dress rehearsal to get the data that you needed. Now, if I had to guess, NASA probably came to the conclusion that it was all right. You could just tank the core stage and go from there, because the ICPS is well understood, because it's derived from a Delta IV upper stage. It's exactly the same. It's just a little bit longer. So the behavior is well understood. So if NASA says they don't need to tank the ICPS, then they don't need to tank the ICPS. Yeah. However, I want to point out. That, if you had a mobile service structure that the crawler could carry around, this would probably be really easy to fix. They had those during the Apollo program. I'm just saying, you had one of these, you could get that done right now. You could fix that valve in a second. Yeah, not a lot of people know about the mobile service towers, or the mobile service structures. Yeah, the crawler. It's basically a modified ML with no launch pad on it. The crawler could just pick this thing up, and it has a bunch of service gantries so they could work on the vehicle out at the pad if they needed to. This was mostly to install the flight termination systems. What's wrong with the valve? There's a problem with a helium check valve on the ICPS. The shuttle had this too? No, the shuttle had a fixed service structure and a rotating service structure. The shuttle had a rotating service gantry thingamajigger. That's this thing over here. If you see, this is an entire payload changeout room, or PCR for short. This whole thing pivoted on this gigantic freaking kingpin right there, and it rolled into place, and this attaches to the payload bay doors. See, this could attach to the payload bay doors, and you could open up the shuttle's payload bay into a gigantic hangar. This whole damn thing rotated. Now, it's all gone nowadays, don't get me wrong. They've demolished both the RSSs. But the one at 39A still has the kingpin. If we look at... you look at video or images from the Axiom 1 launch. If you look at the pad, kingpin for the RSS is still there. See it? The service structure is long gone, but yeah, the fixed service structure from the shuttle and the kingpin is still there. Pretty cool, huh?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah. But yeah, if we had something like this, they could fix it right now, but yeah, you know. It is what it is. They'll fix it. They'll fix it when they come back. NASA's confident in it, and if they were able to come up with a solution this quick, that means they're really confident in it. They didn't. I'm pretty dang sure NASA wouldn't be brushing off something like that, you know. So if they say it's good, I believe them. They'll get that wet dress rehearsal done on the 14th, and then a roll back to the VAB, and then if they can roll back to the VAB by the end of this month, I'm thinking a May launch might be possible. You know, it depends. Foz, 8-month resub. Thank you. So yeah, there's that. That's what's going on. So yeah, that's what's going on, fellas. I don't really have much more space news out and about in terms of like launch vehicles. Maybe we can look at what's going on with rocket launches. So the next Falcon 9 that's slated to go is the L-85 mission out at Vandenberg, Slick 4. It's currently scheduled for the 15th at 9:40 frick. Ugh. 9:47 a.m. 9:40 frick. And then we have Theron back again. Electron Rocket Lab Electron's first mission to try and recover the first stage via helicopter. And then the next one in 2 weeks from now is Crew 4. These times are in Eastern, yes. Mm-hmm. Over here is 3:47. That's good. That's nice. And then there's another Falcon 9 on the 30th, and then two more are tentatively scheduled, or one more Falcon 9 is tentatively scheduled for April. Starlink 42, 4-14 from Pad 40. And then there's Nilesat right there. Crew 4. Yeah, a lot of missions. Yeah, somebody suggested it on Twitter, Hokey. I saw that. There's also 2 Astra launches this month planned. Troptics 1 and 2. Yep. 9:47 a.m. local or Eastern? Eastern. UTC -4. Weren't there supposed to be multiple Falcon heavy launches this year? That's the S40 or SF-44 mission. Let me see where that ended up. There's SF-44 and SF-52. These are tentative, guys. Pat just put those in there for the sake of doing it. Space Pat is the guy that runs this. And then there's SF-44 right there. Yeah, they're waiting on the payload. That Falcon Heavy booster has been ready since last year. There's literally a Falcon Heavy sitting in the 39A HIF. It's just waiting on its payload. Yep, the payload is delayed. SpaceX had the rocket ready to go when the original launch date was, but yeah, Space Force is waiting. That payload had some kind of delay with it. I don't know what it is, so I can't tell you what the delay is. And you know what? I don't want to know. I got this from a guy who got this from a guy from Joe Namath. We don't want to know how. We don't know. We don't want to know. Okay? What? Sorry. You see the latest KSP video put out? They're teasing us at the end. Yeah. Will the truck be ready to go road tripping anytime soon? John, the big thing that I have left to do with that truck is to take the bed off, shim the bed, put the rear tank in, and redo the fuel lines, and then put the trailer hitch on. And then the truck's back to stock. That's the last thing I have to do. Unfortunately, that's the biggest job. It's really difficult to install the fuel tank with the bed off. And the bed is still only held in with like 6 bolts when it should be 8. I have all new hardware for the whole bed. And yeah, and I have a trailer hitch for it, or towing latch for it that I pulled out of the junkyard in California. I got to do the rest of that. Yeah, so we could tow with the thing, and then I got to rewire up the trailer brakes and stuff. We watched the F1 Australia race in about 7 hours. Yeah. Do you plan to redo the diff? It's working just fine, Ciantic, and we got all the crud out of it, so yeah, as long as, yeah, it should be fine. I'm not going to replace it anytime soon. Doing any interior work, is that a secondary goal? Oh, Ian, dude, that's already done. I detailed the interior, and I pulled multiple parts of other trucks out of the junkyard. Yeah, the interior is about as good as it's going to get, man. Let me see if I have a... Let me see if I have a picture floating around. Maybe I posted it on Twitter. I don't know. No. Yeah, we detailed the interior a little while ago. Brimo and I took the whole thing apart. Yeah. Here, let me take a look. I thought I posted it. I think I posted it in the Cars and Motorsports channel on Discord, but I'll do it again. I'll post it again. Will you build the shuttle? What? Here. The buzzing noise is quite annoying, but yeah, I'll show you. Come on. So, here, take a look. The outside is still pretty poo-poo. We don't need to hear the noise. This was just me fixing the steering column, but... See? All fixed. See? It needs new AC vents, and that's about it. And I'm working on the wire harness for the radio, but the dash pad and everything, see? She's mint. Yeah, it's better than it was. But I took this whole thing apart. I fixed all of it, detailed everything. I had the whole steering column out because Ian and I made it do... here, I'll show you. Here. I was about to start it, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put... Here, ready? Look. Not hot wired anymore. See? Cleaned it all up. Why do I have Ford logos on the steering wheel? Because the steering wheel was used by a tradesman, and the truck has 180,000 miles on it, and if you put your hands on the wheel without the cover, it's just going to... Your hands are going to turn dark. It'll look like you dipped your hands in oil. Have you tested the OBD? No. No, I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't worked on it in a couple weeks, weather guy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's still some stuff that I need to fix. But the interior is a lot, like, look, I had the whole dashboard apart. I took that all apart. Brimo and I cleaned the gauges and everything. I still have, this is all I could find in the junkyard, the steering column cowl. That steering column cowl is for an automatic transmission. But it fits. It works. It's good enough. Like, you know, and then I still have the inverter. I still have the inverter kind of taped in there. I wired a 40-watt inverter into the cigarette lighter. And yeah, it works. It's for plugging things in. So the truck has plugs in it. You can use it to generate power if you need to. So you getting a camper then, given you're putting a tow kit in it? I don't know. Since it's a 97, it should be an early OBD2, which means most generic scan tools should interface with it just fine. Yeah, I still got to figure out where the stupid OBD port is. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, see? It's all nice and clean. I took the whole thing frickin' apart, man. Should be right above the clutch. No, it's weird, guys. I thought I found it too, but that was the buzzer control. You know how I know? Because I plugged that thing in at the buzzer and it does that. So it might be underneath the hood. I don't know. I'd have to go looking for it. I'll bring a scanner tool and we'll just see what plug lines up. Just haven't gotten around to it, dudes. So yeah, that's what's going on. It's a nice truck. It works. Basically what I've been doing is I've been trying to get it back to stock. I'm undoing all the Scumbag Lab stuff that Hoonigan did. Not because I hate it, but because I want to make the damn thing usable. That's all. I want it usable so I could drive it. Because the plan was to use the truck to tote a bunch of streaming equipment down and cover launches. That was the idea, at least. Outside of the paint, what all is on the to-do list on the truck? I got to take the bed off so I can put the new bed hardware in. I got to put the rear fuel tank in. Wire up the rear fuel tank, plumb up the rear fuel tank, shim the bed, put the bed on isolators, because it's not on isolators. When you drive over a bump, you hear it. It needs a new tailgate, but the tailgate right now works. I pulled the tailgate out of a junkyard. The metal is okay. The top of it is all screwed up, but I have a cover over it, so you wouldn't be able to know. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty much paint it and then just regular maintenance from there. Before I set out again, Spoon, I want to rebuild. I want to check all the hubs and everything because I don't want to throw another wheel on the highway. That was a little scary. So, yeah, I'm going to take all the hubs apart. I'll probably put new shoes on the back right drum brake because we only replaced one when I was at Primo's house. I have the spare shoes for it and everything. I'm working on a harness to put the radio in, but yeah. 2 weeks ago, I worked on I built a crud harness to just make sure that the radio works, and the radio doesn't work, so I'm dealing with that. That's nice. The new radio that we got for it. It's not the harness. I checked for connectivity, so I think the new radio is DOA, which is nice. That's good. So gotta go talk to them about that. I could probably do with making the mount for the inverter a little bit nicer instead of just duct tape exhaust hangers. It could do with an exhaust as well. Yeah, but you can buy exhaust kits from LMC, so might do that. But yeah, I'm kind of trying not to spend too much on the truck. I'm trying to install all the stuff that I bought for it already. And then, yeah, just rebuild all 4 hubs, check the shocks, check everything else, just routine maintenance, and then paint it. Yeah, I would just want to paint it back to Fleet White. If I want it back in Route 154 colors, we'll wrap it. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, you said a 40-watt inverter. That's not really good for much. You could easily upgrade that to more wattage if you need it. It's on a 40. The cigarette lighter's on a 40-watt fuse, so no, you couldn't, Synerd. So yeah, I mean that's why. 40-watt. Believe me, I know. It doesn't. It's barely enough power to keep the streaming equipment going. The 40-amp fuse, you mean? Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting things confused. But yeah, it's coming, dudes. It's coming. Coming along. Okay. So yeah, like I said, that's... Let me take a look. Okay, so I have GTA Racing scheduled to start at 9, so we can get racing done before the Formula 1 race, because it's in Australia, and it's at a weird time in the morning for me. It's at a weird time in the morning for most people. So that's going to pretty much do it for Space News. So that means it's 5:30, so we got 3.5 hours, so I don't know, what do you guys want to do? You could put an auxiliary alternator in it to power the stream gear. The plan, guys, is to get it back to stock right now. Yeah, and then we'll figure out stuff, you know. Racing Assetto Corsa. Dude, killing me. Train? I kind of want to mess with the train, yeah. Because the train's what I tried to do yesterday for mid-hours, and I didn't get it done because of my stupid neck. If it was pre-97, it'd be under the hood, next to the master cylinder, above the ICM on the fender. But that year's a mess, with the half-tons getting OBD2 and the HD trucks still on OBD1, but then relocated under the dash. That's why I can't find it, Elwood. It's a 97. But it's a 97 OBS. It's a 97 old body style. So, dude, I'm telling you guys, the wire harness is a mess. Not a mess from people messing with it. It's a mess from... It came a mess from Ford. Have you watched the KSP video? Yep. Okay, Gaw. Yeah. I think, Weather Guy, I think I did find it under the hood. Every time I go and work on it, I'm like, I want to fix what I'm working on. So I always end up forgetting to check. Got the logging camp and the mill hooked into my main line. Time for an actual challenge. Yeah, I always forget to do it. But the key works, which is nice. That's good. That's good. But yeah, like the truck has kind of fallen back burner because Brimo and I are still on the house hunt, so. We could do that, Synerd. Yeah, the truck has a lot of space under the hood, guys. There's a lot of space to put. There's even mounts to put second batteries because if you guys here, hold on. If you look, if we look under the hood, there's places to put the batteries on both sides because the diesel trucks had that kind of thing going on. Yeah, well, see, I typed in Ford diesel and that's a 460. But see, see that mount over there where the coolant is on the right? You could put more batteries up there. So I could run a secondary auxiliary power supply on the truck, which I think is what we'd need to do to really make it like stream proof, you know? But yeah, my first battery's right there. Look at all this. See, there's all these canisters and all this emissions nonsense on here. One last truck thing. Why did you jiggle the shifter when you started it? Make sure it's not in gear. If you can move the shifter left, right, and make sure it isn't in first. You don't want to start it in gear. No, I mean, to be honest, John, you can't start it in gear. It has a lockout. If the transmission's in gear, it won't let you start the car. Do I see a distributor cap? Ford ran distributor caps on all Windsor engines until 2003. The 2003 Explorer was the last Windsor engine to roll off in a car from the assembly line. Yeah. You jiggle the shifter because it's what God intended. Yeah, if you wire the second battery, you'll need a bigger alternator, which really isn't that big of a deal. It would be cool to have an isolated circuit like that, Miller. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, if you've driven an older car with no neutral safety lockout switch, then yeah, starting it in gear is not a good idea. Why have a lockout for starting in gear? It's more of a neutral safety switch, Kentab, but yeah. I mean, you have to put it's more, I mean, I guess it's more putting the clutch in, but yeah, it's just a habit to make sure you're out of gear. Old habit, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, it's not, on a manual, it's more the clutch in. You could start it in gear, I suppose. Unless it does have a lockout for it, I'd have to go look at the transmission. Yeah, Signer, there you go. You would need to find a 200 amp alternator or better to up the output the streaming gear will need. Not sure what is stock for those truck models. I'm sure we'll find something. It's a heavy duty Zeppelin, so I'd have to go look at the amperage output on the alternator. Yeah, wire up all the dedicated inverters off the second power circuit. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Have an isolated power loop. It's not a bad idea. And that'll also make it so you could run the car, or you could have the car off with the streaming gear on, right? And yeah. And not have to worry about draining the battery. Has the AX1 crew entered the ISS yet? Yeah, that was not yesterday. That was like this morning. About 6 or 7 hours ago, Addiction. Yep. 11 people up on the ISS for a week. Then chuck a solar panel on the roof. Smirks, yeah, see, I wouldn't be against doing stuff like that. That would be kind of cool, you know? I don't think the solar panels would be enough to keep the stream powered if the batteries were dead, fellas, but it would be good as a passive system, you know? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, maybe Jaka, yeah. Yeah, Signerd, mm-hmm. It's got a 351 in it, RB. 5.8, not a 5.7. It's not a Chevy. Ah, but solar panels on the top of a camper. Is putting a camper on it what you want, John, or is it what I want? I'm confused. A good panel output's like 200, 300 watts, depending on the size. Definitely not enough for a PC. Well, it would be powering a live view, Ian, so who knows? You also need Starlink. Starlink would drain the batteries. It's what logic dictates. So what you want. Okay, got it. Thanks. All right. Want to play with trains? Let's play with trains. I mean, yeah, I suppose if we had a big enough power supply in that frickin' thing, you know, you could just run a computer off of it with OBS and the live view. You wouldn't need anything else. You'd wire it up like a police car. Actually, that would be a really inexpensive way to do it. Take the wiring out of a P71. That's not a bad idea. Just get a gas generator for auxiliary power? Well, Luizo, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but there's definitely one of those underneath the hood. There's a gas generator already there. Hey, Shortline, what's up? Oh, there was the audio for a second. Yeah, because the police cars come with a harness like that. They come because, you know, cop cars just sitting there for long periods of time, right? Check your dims. Oh boy. I got a better radio than that, Sawyer. The radio is not going to be stock. I'll show you what I got. I mean, someone's probably